What's going on today's video? We have David. This guy's crushing the game. He came from nothing, then started his own company. They're doing so many deals. If you don't learn something in this podcast, you ain't listening, if you know what I mean. So Make sure you listen for the whole hour. He crushed it, dropped some knowledge bombs. Make sure you go follow him on Instagram. I learn from him every single day, and I hope you guys enjoy this. What's up, man?
Not much, dude.
Thanks for coming by.
Ooh, I think I'm redlining already.
I think you're already redlining.
Yep.
Dude.
Wait. Now I can't hear nothing.
All right, hold on. Let me bring
All right, check.
There you go. That better?
Okay.
Yeah, we're good now.
Make sure he's good in post.
Oh, you'll do it in post.
All right.
What's up, dude?
Everything's up.
Man, we've been trying for this for a month or so now.
Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan.
Appreciate you.
Of the shit-talking Adam Schwartz.
Thank you.
You know,
I think because I see so much phony that I feel like I'm like the yin and yang, right? Like I see this and I'm like, I gotta like balance out what I see, you know?
Right. Well, you just expose the silly stuff that we have to deal with. And if you're doing business, like real business, you're running into silly stuff all the time. And in order to make light of it, we make fun of it, right? And that's okay. You have to.
It's so stupid.
You gotta laugh at yourself. You gotta laugh at other people, even when you're in a frustrating. Like, dude, I've been in transactions where there's 5 homes, 5 homes, right? And then like you're not in contact with anyone before you or after you, right? Or you have these 3 transactions and then these 2 people, and then some silly stuff happens, man. And you got families that are packed up in U-Hauls. You got the calls like, dude, is this going to close tomorrow? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Talk to your lender.
I have
like,
no idea.
They're the person holding this thing up. I've locked up everything for you, arranged everything for you. And I feel bad sometimes when I go. I used to be very stressed out.
Yeah.
I used to carry it all with me. I used to go.
You can't
have dinner with my wife and not even be there.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, I got a family in a U-Haul.
I know, right?
But now I'm like, I'm foreseeing a bunch of those problems, putting a plan together, contingency plans. If this happens, it's great and whatever. And if it doesn't, let's just laugh about it because there's nothing you can do.
Well, and the thing is too, like, you know, as much as if people truly realize how many deals, I don't even know how they close half the time. Like someone in the triangle, if it's the lender you never can get a hold of, or the agent that you're working with that you can never get a hold of, or the escrow company that you can never, like, there's not all like if people realize how many times if we're like you just said, is it gonna close? I have no idea.
Couldn't tell you.
Can't tell you.
Nope.
Haven't been able to get a hold of this person. Haven't been able to get a hold of this person. And then now like people pass off so much to like their TC or their assistant. Like I'll do deals. I don't even talk to the agent anymore. I'll call the agent. I'm like, your TC is not getting back to us. You're not getting back to us. Like, what's going on? They're like, what's the buyer's name? And you're like, what? How do you not know the escrow that you're in? And we're both guys that do plenty amount of deals.
Sure.
So it's like you're not calling an agent that does 1 deal a month or 1 deal. You're like calling a guy that has a million things going on, and I know everything.
That's the problem at scale.
Yeah.
That is the problem at scale. I was working with, I won't mention his name, but I was working with this, top producing broker at one point, and the same thing. Like he would have me take the buy side for one of his listings that he was going to double end or something like that. And I'm like, hey, do you know what's going on?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what's the street name?
Yeah.
And I'm like, street name? What are you talking about, dude? We're closing tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have no
idea.
That's the problem with scale. And that's legitimately like the $1 million question. How do you give a personal touch at scale? And it's you have to be very mindful that people are on pins and needles, man.
It's very stressful.
Not one transaction goes by, except for this one I have right now. But those are like, they never happen, man. Yeah. They never happen. And I truly believe it comes down to, like I said earlier, the difference between a good transaction and a bad one is setting expectations up front, knowing that, okay, on a buy side and the seller's giving us the runaround and the buyer's getting ballsy. Why don't you tell this agent, F them and I'm gonna cancel. And I'm like, well, I could draft you up a cancellation right here, big guy.
Yeah.
But I know you don't want that. You know what I mean? Let's not do that.
Yeah. I know. It's so funny. Like, it's like, that it's like people get so emotional, and that's why I love when agents get emotional. It's like our job is to be non-emotional.
Dude, if you didn't have agents, no deals would happen.
Yeah.
People
get way too emotional. They get pissed off. I mean, how many times that the other side hates the buyer and they've never met him?
Right.
or hates the seller and never met him. And if they were trying to do this on their own, they would kill each other.
They would.
They would literally kill each other.
They 100% would, man. Like stuff like I love when buyers get like super neurotic, man, and they can't stop thinking about the transaction, and the seller says something like, hey, we need like 4 extra days to move. And the buyer's like, is this guy trying to me, dude?
Yeah,
like
everyone thinks everyone's trying to screw everyone.
I'm like, no, the moving company can't come until next Thursday. That's it, dude.
Yeah,
relax. Like, your lease doesn't end for another 30 days. You're gonna be fine. The seller's not trying to get over on you, man. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's like, you know, it's interesting nowadays. I mean, I've been doing this 6 years now. How much has changed just in 6 years, right? Like, I feel like now, like, you have to so over communicate so much now, and I feel like you can never keep anyone updated enough.
No, and the worst is like offers out for buyers.
You can't keep up with them.
No, and I've always wanted to tell a buyer, like, no, I have you heard anything, Dave? Have you heard anything, Dave? Have you heard anything? No, I actually just booked a ticket to Cabo. I have the good news in my briefcase, but I'm going to return in 4 days and then tell you. Like, bro, I will call you as soon as humanly possible. Bro, if you want me to three-way with you with the listing agent, I will.
Yeah.
Okay? I will.
It is interesting now that we've seen a slowdown, how listing agents are like, hey, want to see if you have any feedback for us. And like, oh, weren't you the guy that I couldn't get a hold of 2 months ago when I wrote you a $25,000 above asking price and no appraisal, and you snubbed me? Now you're like, hey, is there any feedback I can give to the seller on, like, so you think about writing an offer, or like, we can give you anything you want. And it's like, how quickly this changes.
Yeah, I love it, because I have hundreds, I'm sure you do too, hundreds of agents in my phone from text conversations. Hey, can I see a property? Hey, I can't.
No response.
Nothing. Like yesterday, hey, can I come see this property over the weekend on Sunday? And 8 hours goes by. I'm showing the clients the next morning. They're anticipating seeing it. I follow up with, hey, just following up. And then responds, we're in the process of taking an offer. I'm like, bro, you could have told me that 8 hours ago.
I know.
Like, it's so and I do that. I started making apology emails for when I'm on the listing side, just so that I can let people down a little bit softer. But as soon as I see that DocuSign come across the table as offer accepted, I'm starting to copy paste my email. Hey, your offer was fantastic. You had great follow-up skills. Like you're a good agent. The seller took a better offer than yours, you know? And you would be surprised, man. Agents get back to me like, dude, it hurts, but it hurts less now that...
Thank you. Well, thanks for getting back to me. You know? Because the worst when people don't understand is like when you're writing buyer's offers and you haven't heard anything back, and then your clients screenshot you Zillow pending, and you're like, obviously we didn't get it.
That's the worst.
Obviously, like, it's like, hey, did we get it? Nope.
That's the worst.
Nope, we didn't. You know, and you're like, I'm sorry. Like, and what people don't get is like, we're on the listing side all the time. Like, someone just wrote a better offer or had the ability to write a better offer than you can write. And that is nothing to anyone's fault. Like, you know, when this was going crazy, like buyers would call me up. They're like, hey, I'm working with this agent. I want to fire and work with you. And I'd always ask them this, like, are your offers not getting accepted, but you're writing good offers and you're seeing every house you want? Yes. Okay. Well, then you're not going to get it accepted with me. You know what I mean? You're just not. But then I would tell people like, and then they would go, well, no, like we wanted to see this house. They got back to us 3 days later. We were unable to see it. Like we wanted to write an offer. They didn't get back to us. They're not responsive enough. Then I'm like, okay, then I understand why you want to switch agents. And yes, I can do those things for you. But if you're leaving your agent because you're not getting offers accepted, I maybe can write a little bit of a better offer. But if you just are maxed out at here and someone is maxed out here and they can go to that max, like you're never going to get the house. I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel bad for the VA guys.
VA guys, FHA
guys, and especially the Calhafas and the first, like the young families, bro. That
it's hard,
like,
man. I think that's emotionally taxing that I don't think people understand. Like every time you have to tell that person, no, you didn't get their offer accepted. And right now we're going in that shift where like I have listings that have been on the market 14 days now, and they're like, why haven't we got an offer yet? It's like, the market has shifted. You have missed the boat. And now it's going to go that way where buyers are like, or now you have to tell your sellers like, hey, we might have to do a price drop. Hey, we need to do this. Hey, we need to do that. Like it's always, you're always telling someone bad news.
Yes. And they act like, this is what I was telling someone the other day. Nobody is enjoying the market the way it is.
No one.
Sellers,
listing agents don't either.
I mean, unless you're super listing heavy and you got the system and it's fantastic and all you do is listing properties. Like,
yeah, but then you're getting 50,000 calls. Right? Even if you use showing time, which you're not even setting up the showings, but then you're getting 1 million calls from 1 million agents. Hey, what do I need to do to write the best offer? What do I need to write the best offer? What do I need to do this? What can I do? Hey, let's just put a deal together. Like your phone is literally blowing up nonstop from agents trying to call you, and you're like, yo, like.
And those calls are sad, bro, because they never ask the questions that they need to ask.
Never.
And I'm literally waiting. Just ask me where we're at. Just ask me where we're at. Just ask me.
Yeah.
And I'll sometimes jump the gun and say, hey, let's just make this easy. We have 750.
Yeah.
Can you beat 750?
Well, I love when agents like, I can't tell you what I have. Why not?
Did you know
if I can beat it,
dude? Did you know that in the RPA it says that your offer is not confidential?
No,
it's only unless the seller agrees to have it confidential.
Yeah.
It's not confidential. I've actually taken a screenshot and sent it over. Like, bro,
you can tell me.
How can I win this house? Like, how can I do this? Because my clients are looking at me like I'm a doofus, and I'm not.
Well,
I'm
and
just
then like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of screenshotting.
I'm a big screenshot guy.
Agent, you know, like I'm not making this shit up.
I've started doing that this year. I'm a big screenshot guy now. I just like, we don't get an offer accepted. I screenshot and send it straight to the client and go, this is what it is.
Yep.
And I think it's a good note to do that for agents out there, because then it's not like you telling them the bad news. Someone else is telling the bad news.
Well,
or like when agents aren't getting back to you, I'll just screenshot. Hey, any update? Any update?
Right.
Any update? Any update?
Yep.
Send it over. Look at, I cannot. What more do you want me to do?
Yeah, 100%. Like I literally have almost showed up at people's offices knowing that they're not even there, just to say like, dude, I'm trying to find you.
Yeah.
However I'm supposed to find you. Like I have people that have 2 months to buy a house, and this is the one that they really want, and unfortunately the seller decided to pick you. I need an update, dude.
Yeah.
I need something.
Yeah. Do you? This is something that we always cross. I wonder if you guys feel the same way. Like I think it's very interesting. Like and it's maybe expectations where like I'll literally have clients that will be like, hey, I want the photos like organized in a certain way. Okay, cool. Whatever. That's what you want. But then like right now, I'm listing a house in Moreno Valley in Sunnymead Ranch, and there's the same floor model.
Gabby's gonna get you, bro.
Oh, bro, I got Gabby. So the same floor models in the market just went listed today, and we're listing Wednesday. Like they have 6 photos.
Right.
They're all dark.
Right.
And I'm like, that seller is now going to see our photos that are awesome. I don't understand those sellers. Like, how do you just go like, okay, like that's what's out there, and this is what I'm presenting. How do they not just go like, yo, I don't like process that. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Do you guys feel like that? Because you guys obviously
such a disservice, man.
But do you feel like, what is the mindset around? I don't understand that. Where I'm like, how do you look at this product and then look at that product, and you're like, oh yeah, we're good, we're fine.
You know what? I couldn't even answer that question because, you know, if I was selling my stock portfolio and all I needed to do was get really awesome photos and video to get like max out of this
price,
exactly. Like, don't you like? It's just a no-brainer. Like, why would I not?
It's the easiest thing for agents to do.
It just costs money,
and not even that much.
No, it's like a drop in a bucket.
It's literally nothing.
Don't say that because our photographer is going to raise their prices.
Oh, no. Yeah, exactly.
No, but I feel the same way, man. It's astonishing. And especially, do you see luxury listings like that?
$1 million.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I laugh, because we, you know, I say this all the time, but like we always post the market and then we post how great we are. And no one makes a decision on what the market's doing, because if so, we'd have 1 million sellers right now, and we don't. Right. Or how good you are, because the number one agent in every market is the person who does less than 5 deals a year. So it's like we post those two things, but no one makes their decisions on those two things.
Right.
So what do you know what I mean? That's why I guess I go so hard on education.
I just go hard on track record. Like I've been doing this. This is the end of my 6th year. I think I've sold over 120, roughly 120 properties. Had a flagship year last year, like many of us did. You know. But I was okay with giving up a lot of my commission up front to get the track record that I needed to feel comfortable sitting down with the $2.5 million buyers or sellers. Like, look, yes, you can hire anybody you want, but anybody you want hasn't done the deals I've done, right? And through those deals, I've been through damn near everything. Right.
Yeah.
So you're not hiring me because I'm going to make your house look super flashy. You're hiring me so that I can position you in the right way, because there's definitely a good position and a bad one.
Yeah.
And the guy down the street may not know those things. I'm not talking, shit about that guy. But I know what I'm capable of, and there's a lot to do with confidence in this business.
Honestly, I think confidence is the number one factor, but I don't think agents don't ever put themselves in the position to be confident, like knowing knowledge, being around the right team. Like I thank my photographer every day. Every time he comes to the property, I'm like, I hope you know, like, your ability to make every house look amazing gives me so much confidence. It's the team I've built around me to give me more confidence, and these agents don't understand that.
No, and it's sad, man. And I really think the difference between someone, because you could put those dummy agents, whatever you want to call them, low producers, you could put them in any career, dude, and they're going to do the bare minimum. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it comes down to like legit, how valuable do you think you are to yourself?
Believe it.
How much do you love yourself? And people will tell you, oh, I love myself. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And you spend a day with them. You're like, bro, I saw you self-sabotage like 38 times. Yeah. Right? You don't love yourself. Yeah. You don't think you're worth it. Mm-hmm. Right? And they're like, well, I do. And I'm like, okay, well, prove it. Yeah. And they're like, well, how do I do that? Get the job done.
Yeah, go to work.
Go to work.
Well, it's like that belt thing you said today. That was awesome.
Well, what'd I say?
Remember the belt thing where you're like, you won't do anything for yourself, but then you spend $20 on a belt and it breaks, and you run right back to the store and you're like, yo, like, I bought this, it didn't work, I want my refund. But then no one ever asked for refunds on themselves.
No. People are afraid to bet on themselves. Mm-hmm. You weren't taught to. No one's taught to bet on themselves. You're taught to go to school, get an education, go take a bunch of debt out, and then go work for the man to make the man's company huge, and then you'll maybe be able to retire if you can manipulate your money to last you until you die. Yeah, like that's what you're taught.
I know.
You're not taught to bet on yourself. And I don't know, man. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I think people who've played sports competitively like have an advantage in life.
Well, I think it teaches you to like I mean, I was in baseball for 10 years as an umpire, and like I worked 30 days in a row. Yeah. And then took one day off and then worked 30 days more. Yeah. And like I think what has made me so well into this transition in sports, probably sports in general, for anyone, it's like no one cares if you don't feel good. Nope. No one cares what you have going on in your family life, personal life. No one gives a crap about anything about you. Nope. When those lights go on, you better perform. And if you don't, you're going to hear about it. And no one cares about anything. Same thing about this job. 2 years ago, my grandpa died. 12 minutes later, I took a call from a listing 100%. Agent to get my offer accepted. 100%. And someone's like, you're on the phone right now? And I said, my grandpa would want me to take that call. Yes. And because he never got more excited than me doing deals. Yep. And so I'm like, no one cared that my grandfather just died.
Your clients didn't.
My clients did not. No. But my clients were super happy that we got an offer accepted.
100%. And then you go back to grieving, back to whatever.
And that's the thing is like, I think that is the difference, is that the people, this whole life in general, job, whatever, it's not brain surgery. It's not difficult. You just got to show up every day.
Simple discipline.
And to get better every single day.
Every single day. That's my secret sauce, man. Yeah. Showing up to the office at the same time every single day.
Every day.
Doing the same thing. And people ask me all the time, how do you stay so motivated, dude? And I'm like, well, it's very simple. I'll tell you. If I have to go to work, if I have a boss and I have to I have to be there at 8, I'll wake up at the very last moment that I can. I will literally sit in the parking lot until it turns 59. Yeah. And then I will walk in as the time hits, right? And then as soon as I get a sense of it's getting to the end of the day, I'm getting excited, right? And now that I don't have a boss and I do run this company, it's the difference between, it's just a living in gratitude, man. I get to go to work today. Yeah. I have the opportunity to go to work today. I have families who trust me with their livelihood. It's a big responsibility that realtors don't. They just see the checks.
Yeah, they don't take in credit of that, of what our jobs actually are on the table. But the thing is that I want some people out here, and I think the biggest reason why we have a 95% fail rate is that a lot of people think they can do this job on their own, and they can't, for one. But they have too much ego to be like, hey, I'm going to go work for you, and yes, I have to give you a small percentage or a percentage of my money, right? But I know being around you is going to make me a better real estate agent over time.
It's hard to find.
It's so hard to find because they go, I want to do this on my own. I don't want to brand you. I don't want to grow your company. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And then 5 years, 2.5 years later, you're out of the industry.
Right.
And you couldn't put your pride down to realize like, I'm maybe not the guy to run a company. Right. I don't have the skill set. I don't have the drive. I don't have the ability to handle the stress level. Maybe I don't have the financial whereabouts to do it. But then they don't want to like be around. And I think the reason why, and you could agree or disagree, I don't think people want to be around the people that go, shit, he's in the office today. Shit, he's doing that. Shit, and then they're like, in a perfect example of like, why you are who you surround yourself with. If like you're hanging out with all healthy people and you're the one like, yo, we're gonna talk about, right? Like everyone's like, no, dude, we don't need that. Or like whatever that scenario is, it's like they don't want to be around the people that are pushing them to the next level.
Because it goes against their identity, right? And we're so wrapped up in our self-limiting beliefs. I'm not a morning person. I don't like this type of food. I feel awkward when I'm swinging a golf club for the first time, so I'm never going to play. It's about looking dumb and being okay with that.
Yeah.
Right? Like looking dumb, because you can only look dumb for so long.
Well, and I think that people need to realize no one's watching you, right? It's like
no one cares.
No one cares. Like I'm the I am a video guy, right? And people are like, oh, I'm so nervous to shoot video. I don't know this. I don't look on camera. I'm like, dude, no one will even watch it. Like I have the stats. Like I look at the stats.
Yeah, bro.
No one's watching it. It's like I was watching a podcast yesterday with 2 comedians, and they're like, even Netflix will have an hour special,
right?
And only 99% of people only watch 28 minutes. So you're doing this whole production for an hour special on your jokes,
right?
And really, if you think about it, after 28 minutes, you could literally sit on stage and say nothing, and no one's watching anyways.
Yes.
But that's the thing that people don't get. It's like, oh, I'm so worried. I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, you're always going to be worried to make that leap because my thing is like, who's making fun of me? Who can make fun of me? Who can make fun of me?
We share that, right? Like that mindset. I have an agent. We just started, not just started, but we have a video guy and retainer who comes, 2 times a month, and we set up our agents with video. And it was her first video, and she knows who I'm talking to. So
we'll clip this for you.
No, it's okay. And she was like, I'm just so nervous. I'm like, let's talk it out. What are you nervous about? Well, I just don't want to look dumb. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me who's going to watch this. And she's like, well, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe potential buyers and sellers. I'm like, okay, how many, right? Well, I don't know. Well, they're not going to watch it.
Yeah.
Right? It's for you to get into the groove of being yourself, man. Like being yourself, authenticity sells. Like I'll never forget the day I went from like suited up for 2.5 years, suited up in these like TJ Maxx dress pants and like the whole thing. And then I just one day I'm like, wait a minute, dude. I don't have to be someone I'm not in order to succeed. I don't have to do that. I can actually just show up as myself. I was super scared to show my tattoos to people, and sometimes I don't, right?
Yeah.
Like they're super clean.
Know your room.
Yeah, exactly.
Know the room.
Exactly.
And
but
that's okay
like,
too.
It is.
Yeah.
It totally. I can suit up if you need me to. Dude, I'll do whatever you want, right? Yeah. Like if you're buying $100,000 piece of dirt and you want me in a suit, I'll wear it.
Yeah.
Right. But if it's up to me, which the longer you're in the business, it's more up to you,
yep.
Right? Like you can just be yourself, and I think people don't know who they are. Right? They're not introspective. They don't know what their flaws, or not their flaws, but their strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, like they don't embrace them. They don't want no one to see them. Like, and it's sad, man. It's like that's the way they live in normal life. Like they don't have very many friends.
I feel bad for those people.
I do too.
I really feel bad for the people that are so like in their own head, where they're so scared of everyone else, and they're just so like intimidated in life. And it's like, dude, how do you live that way?
It's because they've always have. And
exactly.
I've been doing a lot of introspection and like just trying to figure out who I am. 31, I've done a lot. I have a lot to go, but I'm like, man, I wish other people can realize this stuff. It's so beneficial to just be like, okay, I am not a supermodel, right? Like, I am not a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I am not like these crazy influential things that people do on Instagram.
Yeah.
But you're also a gem inside of there, and you have tons of knowledge and you have tons to share with people, and you're not doing that because you're not a bodybuilder or this beautiful image.
Well, and the problem, we live on that world now. You know what I mean? The like and comment world.
Sure.
I just did a talk the other day, and I said the biggest mistake.
What you should doing classes now?
I know, bro. I'm doing
You're doing classes now, bro. I saw it.
But like I told the girls in the class, I said, listen, you got to figure out, and I've said this before, you got to figure out what you want to be known for, not what gets you likes and comments. Because last time I checked, a fire emoji or a clappy hands doesn't put money in your pocket. So taking that photo of your face and saying like it matters who you work with or whatever, no one cares, because they're just looking at your face and boobs. And you know what? If you're a supermodel or you're a fitness influencer and that's how you make your money, great.
Hands off.
Do you, girl? I love it. Respect.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 right? Because I know that life's hard too. But if you're trying to be a professional in any aspect, like you're now, and like I said, the problem with you, if two girls post a photo and you both a real estate agent and they both go look at you, then they're just comparing who's prettier. They don't give a crap how good you are.
Right.
And so that person, you have to know, if they're hitting you up to do real estate, they're only hitting you up because you're attractive.
Right.
That's it.
And you're asking for that inappropriate response.
DM,
and then they put those guys on blast.
I know. Don't even get me started with that.
Yeah, dude. I see it all the time.
Well, and that's the thing too. Even like the phoniness of like, I tell people I could rent a Ferrari.
Right.
I have buddies that own them.
Sure.
I could say, yo, let me borrow the Ferrari for the day. Yeah. I could buy a Rolex fake.
Sure.
I could wear the suit. I could do all these things, but for what? Like,
you don't want to be known for that.
Well, it's like, what benefit that does for me? Like, I have clients that I say, like, I drive a cargo van, but I have clients that I'm like, hey, I really want this car. And they're like, okay. And they're like, why do you want it? And I'm like, I want it because if I have a supercar, I want a McLaren. If I have a McLaren, then I can go do car shows and then meet more people that have really expensive cars so I can do real estate deals. That's the only reason.
Right.
I have no care about the car.
Sure.
Well, I don't care. And I said, if I drove that car, would you work with me? And they're like, no. And I'm like, that's what people don't understand, is that you think you're drawing these people in, but you're actually pushing them away.
Yeah. And I was up in San Francisco. I talked to a couple of my friends who sell real estate in the city. And I have one friend who's just starting out on a great team, and I wish him well. I have another guy who's been a broker, does it all himself. And he's like, he lives in the marina in San Francisco and is trying his best to not be a marina guy in San Francisco. And I like it, right?
Yeah.
He's different. He's got the long hair. He doesn't dress like a tech guy. You know what I mean? And he's like, we're talking about buying leads. And he's like, well, you know what, Dave? I really don't want to work with people who I don't want to work with. And I'm like, well, that's the beauty, man. You're going to get 100 leads and only attract and connect with the people that you connect with. And he's like, oh, shit. I didn't even think about it that way. And I'm like, when I train my agents and they come on my showings and my brand new appointments, like it literally feels like I've known these guys forever. And I'm like, I can't train you. Yeah. All this stuff is so easy to me because I'm only attracting my tribe. So when I get out of the car, I'm like, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
How's it going, man? Like, it's nice to meet you. And they're scared that they're going to get someone to put them in a position to feel awkward and stupid and whatever. And you might feel that. But over 1,000 times, you're going to connect with that certain person, that certain family, the avatar of who you want to work with.
Well, and then people don't realize that lead is also nervous. They've never met you before. Yes. They're going to a house with someone they've never met before. They're going to look at a house probably for the first time, and they're a first-time home buyer, and they've never done this before. They're already scared with that and all the unknown. So it's like, if you're scared and they're scared, that's when it doesn't match. Like, they're already going to be scared. So you better be the person that's like, hey, everything's like, hey, what's going on? Like, let's make them feel comfortable, because that's our job. It's even like half the time people in all transactions are just scared.
Yes.
They're just scared. And I love people, is this deal going to go through? I wouldn't do it if I thought it wasn't. I would say that. I wouldn't do this deal if I thought it wasn't. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, I don't really like working for free. So
that's
like,
true.
I want this deal to close so I get paid.
Yep.
If I didn't think it was go through, I wouldn't do the process of start this deal.
Right.
Can it maybe fall out? Yes, it could.
Right.
But that's never the plan.
Right.
I always tell everyone, I'm like, everyone's goal is for this to close.
Yeah.
Because no one gets paid.
Yeah. No one's out to get you.
Everyone that's involved in this deal wants to get closed so they all get paid.
100%, man. It's just being authentic is like a huge key to me in training now. It's like, dude, you have to just try to see what works for you, man. You have to go bump your head out there. You got to meet people that don't like you. Mm-hmm. You got to be in awkward positions. You got to go bomb 100 listing appointments to learn.
It's like stand-up comedy.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like you got to go try it.
Yeah, you got to go out there and do it.
See if you get a laugh.
You got to go out and do it, and then you find your style and you find what works for you. And
exactly.
You find like same thing you did. I used to wear suits every single day,
right?
And now guys are like, how? Like I had some agents make fun of me. I showed up in like flip flops and a shirt and a hat, and they're like, "You gonna go work an open house?" I'm like, "Actually, I am." And they're like, "How do you work open houses like that?" I'm like, "I just do."
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I said because when someone walks in, I actually know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And you're gonna wear a suit and have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
And we'll see which one works better.
Yep.
We'll go me versus you.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck, man. But you went through the trial and error though.
I went through the trial and error.
You wore the suit.
But I had a deal this year where a client's like, it was $1 million listing, and they're like, "Hey, we want you here at every showing." I'm like, "Cool." I said I would wear a suit, and then one guy he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I want you to wear a tie." I'm like, "Okay, you want me to wear a tie? I didn't know you wanted me to wear a tie. You want me to wear a tie?
Well, float your boat, bro.
Sure, whatever you want. You want me to wear a tie? Great." So, we became really good friends till his house. So for my birthday, he gave me a tie.
I love it.
Yeah, and I was like,
joke.
It was a joke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll send him a picture randomly. It's still in the box, and be like, "Haven't worn it yet. Haven't worn it since. Never worn it."
Yeah.
And so I think that's the thing that everyone's so scared to like fail. Right. And it's like the sooner you just get past that and just be like, "Hey, I'm going to fail. Like it is what it is. I'm going to lose deals. I'm going to go on a listing and not get it. Yep. I'm going to not follow up with that lead correctly. And they're going to go buy with someone else. And I'm going to see it on Instagram, or someone I would totally think would use me goes and use some random person they don't even know." Like it's just going to happen.
And if it doesn't happen, you're not doing
enough deals. Yeah. You're not going on enough listings. You're not doing enough deals, and you're not putting yourself out there.
And you got to do it with grace too, man. Like when someone list their property with somebody else, you gotta wish them well.
Yeah, you gotta be a professional,
bro. I hope everything goes, and I truly do, man.
I really do.
I really hope it goes well.
I don't want you calling me halfway through,
and I've had it
100% all the time.
I've told a good friend of mine, like we played Victoria together. He, blamed it on his wife. "Oh, my wife," you know what I mean? Like, bro, you gotta believe me. I went hard for you.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you know what, dude? It's okay. Like $900,000 listing. Like it hurt, whatever. But here he comes 2 weeks later. "Hey, bro, I just sent you this DocuSign. Can you check this out for me?" And I did for the first time, right? But then like a couple days later, he's like, "Hey, bro, here's another DocuSign." I said, "Listen, you made your decision. Like, and I know your standpoint too. Like, I literally can't help you.
Yeah.
But I just, as a friend, I don't appreciate this.
Yeah.
And I stood up for myself. Like, and people are scared to do that. Like, as a friend, go f yourself.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I respect you for that."
Yeah.
And we're still friends.
Well, because they'll keep taking from you and taking from you and taking. Like I had that same thing happen to me in a listing in downtown. Like I knew her, I showed the house on Zillow. She used the listing agent that sold her the house like 3 years earlier. He was terrible. They got into escrow, whatever. And she's like, "What about?" And she's like, "Hey," and I sat her down. I said, "Listen, you get one time. You get once."
Because I'm a good human.
And I'm a good human being, and I know you, and I feel bad for you that you picked the wrong person. That's fine.
Right.
I said, you get one.
Right.
And I said, if you call me after this, I'm going to tell you I'm not going to pick up your call.
I
can't. I'm legally not allowed to.
First
off.
Second of all, it's disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
I don't get paid for this.
And I value my own
myself,
career, my reputation,
100%.
and everything. So maybe in another 6 years, they'll call you.
Yeah. And then what ended up happening? Deal fell to escrow. She canceled him, listed with me.
See?
And so that's the thing that people have to realize. You have to set that boundary in all aspects, and you cannot be scared. And most agents are scared,
right?
Because they don't have enough deals going on.
It's true.
Or they don't have enough in the pipeline.
It's very true.
That's the number one reason people get nervous.
Yes. And I'm in the process of getting like I would say like 3 or 4 agents to that point where they got enough deals where they can stop doing bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like stop being a yes man to your clients.
Yeah.
Stop missing meetings because the guy said he wanted to see a property at 12. Mm-hmm. Like a guy could have saw it at 1:30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, and I think people have to realize you have to, if you cannot handle your schedule, then everything throws you off about. Like I always argue, like one thing that when people want to meet with me about whatever, and then they cancel me, I say, "You're done." And they're like, what? And they're like, but this came up. I'm like, listen, if I was a listing appointment, would you have missed me? No, you wouldn't have.
Right.
You just showed me that you think whatever you had going on, unless someone is in the hospital or it is your family.
Which apparently happens all the time.
Right? So my thing is like, you just showed me whatever you had to do was more important than me.
Yep.
And I have never done that to someone I wanted to meet with.
Right.
I have driven hours to meet with someone.
On time.
Because I needed to meet with that person because that person was taking something out of their busy schedule to make time for me. And I did not want to abuse that.
Yeah.
If a seller does that, if a seller's like, hey, can you meet with me? You'd be like, you're not going to cancel on that seller.
No.
You wouldn't.
No.
You would push anything and everything around that.
I would literally burn down a building so that I can get there.
Yeah. Well, it's like you miss your son's baseball game all the time to go to a listing appointment.
Ooh, that's tough, man. I don't have kids. You don't have kids. Do you have
Me
kids?
neither.
Yeah,
No.
bro. Like my wife's pregnant. So
congratulations.
I'm just gearing up to how the hell am I going to do this? You know what I mean? And thank God she's, she met me after real estate. So
she knows the game.
She knows the game, and it's tough because it's like, I hear that often. I can't.
Yeah.
I got to go to a listing appointment. I'm like, I can't judge them. But anyways, be where you said you were going to be. Do the things you said you were going to do. I'm the same way, dude. If they're 15, if you're supposed to be there at 10 a.m. and it's 10:05, I hit you with a text. Hey, are you close?
Yeah.
And then 10:10 rolls around. I'm like, hey, are you coming?
Yeah.
In 15 minutes, I'm leaving. I don't care if you're there at 10:16. Right? I'm like, no, I'm just running late. And I'm like, well, I have other things to do.
Yeah.
Even if I don't.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
literally going to my house to sit on the couch.
Yeah.
But I will cancel
to
set the precedent.
Yeah.
They're not late the next time.
Nope.
Right?
Never are.
I'm not late for you.
Exactly.
Like even today.
Yeah.
Today, bro, I'm like, hey, there is a possibility that I might be late. Mm-hmm. I came in literally right on time.
Yeah.
But if there is a chance I'm going to be late, I'm going to give you the
pre-warning.
The pre-warning.
So then you can schedule around that.
You can schedule around that.
Yeah.
Bro.
And then I could text you back, yo, dude, I got something at 1. So if you're too late, then we're going to have to reschedule.
We're going to have to reschedule.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
I agree.
So I'm with that, dude.
It's the funny thing. It's the same crap that every successful person does and every Instagram meme, but then no one thinks that's the stuff that does it. They think it's some magic freaking sauce. They think it's some website, some CRM, some stupid follow-up system that you're paying $299 a month for. They think it's all those things when it's literally like, be yourself, show up on time, try to get better every single day, surround yourself with the right people, like da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bro, you just created an online course right there.
100%. It's going to be $199 a month.
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
I'm serious.
Like that, you can't, but see, you can't teach hustle. You can't teach it. You know
it's like, it's like, what's your why? Someone asked me the other day, what's your why? And I'm like, I don't really have one. And someone once, they were like, oh, is it the money? I'm like, no, it's not. And they're like, no way, dude, it cannot not be the money. I said, here's the thing. You're an agent, I'm an agent. You are doing 1 or 2 a month or whatever, and that is some good money, and it slings, and then you'll go no next month. And I go, dude, for me, it's just like, I'm like, close that transaction, let's open another one. Let's close one and open one. Close one and open one. Close one and open one. Because I'm like, I cannot control 2 things. I can't control what my buyers want to buy financially. I cannot control who calls me to sell their house. So I can't be like, oh, that's only $300,000. That's not enough for commission check for me. I can't control if my clients really, really want this house and it's a 2% commission. I can't control those things. And I've probably lost like 4 escrows this year that just fell at escrow. And then my seller's like, hey, we're going to take a break. Okay, cool. So it's like, I don't look at it that way because it comes and goes.
Well, the lion doesn't get happy once it's already eaten. No. Like it doesn't. It wakes up every day and goes, where's my next chase at?
Yeah.
Where's my next they're not satisfied after the hunt.
No.
It's the act of actually hunting.
It's like, get that deal in escrow.
Right.
And then move on. And then have the team behind you and then solve every major problem, close that deal out, and then go get the next one.
Yes. Or have multiple in escrow at all times.
The goal is to close 1 a week. If you can just close that one, that's always been the goal. Close 1 a week. Never happens.
That's a good week. That's what, 52 deals.
Yeah. Never happens.
Well,
you'll close 6 in 1 week, and then you'll go 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
My business partner does that.
Well, she's better than me.
She's a freaking boss. 76 deals on her own last year.
So how did you guys team up?
So me and Meg, it's a funny story. I've told this story 100 times, but I was working for my family. I did my very first open house. right? Very first, green is all hell, bro. Yeah. And I had the sign-in sheet, bro. I'm like all nervous, and it's a super packed open house in Armsley Square of Ontario. It's like this super, not prestigious, but it's really nice. She comes in workout clothes with her soon-to-be wife. And I'm like, oh, dude, like these two young girls. I'm like, I'm in there. I'm 26. You know what I mean? I'm like, so Tom Ferry scripts, bro. Like, so tell me, what is it about the community that you love? You know? and she answered like 4 questions, 5 questions. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, dude, I'm a realtor. I'm looking for my clients. I just didn't want to say anything. But she signed into my thing, nice, right? So next day, Monday morning rolls around. I'm doing my Tom Ferry thing. I'm calling the leads. And she picks up the phone. She's like, Megan, can I help you? I'm like, you're the agent, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm the agent. I'm like, all right, cool. Have a nice day. Boom. Hang up the phone. She pops up as somebody you should know on Facebook. Facebook, yeah. So I start following her and stuff like that. She's crushing it. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I got into a position where I'm like, oh, wow, I'm going to quit my family's business. Mm-hmm. It's a terrible decision, or not terrible. It's really hard to make. I called her. I'm like, dude, do you still want to grow your team? And she's like, yeah, I actually do. Let me get you on touch with the broker. 3-way me in. I actually took a loan from the broker because I was dead broke at the time. Yeah. Like, I can't make this jump without a little bit of cash. Yeah. And it's a long story, but he was like, dude, if you come to the office, I'll give you the money. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, done. Well, I can assure you, if you give me the leads, I will close them. Yeah. Right. So join the team. He wants to make me some team leader, and she's the team leader. She manages this whole crazy operation. We're doing 200 plus units a year with like 17 or 18 agents. And then that situation soured, and we knew, everyone knew that if she left, everyone was going with her, right? So she turned around. She's like, well, I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I'll create a company. And we divorced that broker. So I wasn't an owner of the company at this point. It was like 2 weeks in where she's like drowning. Yeah. Because we literally had to like overnight how to create this company.
It's freaking hard.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It was absolutely.
People do not realize what it's like when you're producing to change.
Yes.
Like when you're doing no deals.
It doesn't matter.
You can just.
And you're under someone else's umbrella.
Yeah, you're just like bouncing.
Like, it doesn't matter what their Facebook page looks like, what their Instagram page looks like, what their systems are.
Shoot, we're in escrow on these. Like, we got to move these over. Or like, hey, we're going to sign these listing agreements, but like, we need to hold off a week because we're going to sign. Like,
no one knows.
Like, no one knows. And you have to keep everything secret.
Yes.
And like, because if the moment people realize, the moment you let the word is out that you're leaving, shut off doors.
Oh yeah,
on you.
The
doors locked. Like you ain't got keys to that.
Yeah, well, the first time I ever left the company, I went into my email like 3 minutes later, dude, it's locked out. And I'm like, bro, how am I supposed to close my deals?
You can't.
And they actually turned me back on so that they can get paid off my deals. I'm like, what are you guys thinking? You know what I mean? You don't have any proprietary information, anyways. You know. Anyway. It was like 2 weeks in, and I'm telling her like, dude, offload some stuff. Like, I'll help you. I don't care. Like, we need to get up and running, you know? And then she approached me like, hey, what do you think about being partners? And I'm like, I feel like it'd be a little awkward just walking in because we were like 10 deep already. Or I'd probably say we're about 7 or 8 agents that were going to come over and form this company. And I said, well, if they give me permission to lead the company, I'll do it. Yeah. And everyone unanimously like, yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. And that's how we became partners in the company. We've been around since February 2019, which is about 2.5 years. Turnover rate's at 0. We literally had nobody, and it's not to my doing, because if it was up to me,
you'd leave. Yeah.
It's her, man. Like, she knows how to create the culture, and she has done a very good job at it. And now we're on our way to 300. You know
and I think that's the thing too. Like, it's funny. Like, she's successful, and then she goes like, "Hey, I need help," right?
Yep.
And that's what I don't understand with like. Dude, it literally mind blows me. Honestly, it really does. Like, you saw someone crushing it, and you're like, hey, I want to crush it. I'm going to go work for that person. Oh my God, I'm crushing it now too. Or, hey, and then she saw, hey, I'm drowning right now. I need help. Hey, listen, you're good at this. Do you want to team up and do it? And it's just like I literally want to, like we were talking about shaking agents. I'm like, do you understand? Like, you literally need someone. Yeah. What are you doing? Like, that's scary. What I'm terrible at culture.
I don't think so. I think that you're only going to do well with people who share very similar beliefs in the fact that we have good cop, bad cop at the office. I'm the bad cop. Yeah. She's the good cop.
For sure. And it helps that she's a woman. Like,
it does.
Exactly.
It does.
You know, she's a good cop. She's warming.
Yes.
Like, we just don't have that bone.
I know.
I don't have that bone.
I know.
Right? I don't care it's your birthday. Right?
I run into the problem all the time, but I've gotten better over the years, and I'm sure the agents at the office can attest to that. Like, I used to be like, dude, it's 8:01, you're fucking late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's 8:01, and I'm like, guys, it's more like the I'm disappointed in you leadership now versus I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
Right? Because people don't respond very well to that.
No, they don't. They're soft.
They are soft.
Yes.
And it takes and I also believe, bro, like we talked a little bit about people's values and their worth, and that's really the key to success is if you believe it is possible and you're going to do it, it's more chances you will. But I also believe, like, I didn't know what it would take for me to be financially set until I went through Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within and did the whole seminar, 3-day weekend, and he makes you pick a number. Like, what's your number, man? You know, what is it going to take for you to step away from what it is, right? What do you need? And people will be like, 100 million. And it's like, okay, like, what would 100 million do? Oh, I buy a boat, I buy a car, you know? And it's like, well, you could probably do that with 2 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think people realize how much $100 million
They don't. I mean, I don't think people realize what $1 million is.
I literally, like, I think about that all the time. Like, my goal is $1.2 million a year. I've always had that as my goal.
It's not a bad thing.
1.2 million. It's not unreachable.
Right.
It's definitely not unreachable.
Right.
But it's $100,000 a month. And people always go like, what? I'm like, think about this for 1 second. If you're making $100,000 a month, your $5,000 house is 5% of what you make.
Right.
Like, you think like, oh my God, like $5,000 a month. Even say you do say your house is $10,000 a month. Okay, you're 10% of what you make. When someone's making, the reason why FHA and VA or FHA loans are 55% debt to income ratio, most people push that to 55%. So they're spending over half of what they make a month on their mortgage.
Right.
But then you're freaking out about only 10%.
Right.
And then you're like, how's that guy have a Lambo? Well, that Lambo is probably like $2 a month,
and it's paid for by the assets.
It's like, exactly. It's $2 a month. It's literally 2% of what that guy makes a year.
So this is why we have issues with discovering who people are as agents, and because they'll tell you straight up, dude, like, I want 10 million, and it's like, okay, walk that back, reverse engineer this for me. Like, why is 10 million? My number's 4 million, right? If I hit $4 million and make 6% interest off $4 million, I get paid $20,000 a month.
I'm out.
I'm done.
Yeah.
20 G's a month, bro. I grew up with nothing, bro. Like, legit nothing. That's why I don't have the Rolex. That's why I don't need him. Dude, I convinced my client who's just closing on this big deal to sell his $35,000 Rolex because it was sitting in a box and it meant something special to him 10 years ago. I'm like, sell that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need that for? The only thing people with Rolexes need, it's either one or two things. You want to meet other people with Rolexes, or you want other people without Rolexes to think
wow, it's a Rolex.
Exactly. And if you don't want any of those two things, you don't need one.
You don't need it.
And I tell them, as soon as Rolex can count my steps and count the workout calories, like, I'm in. But they're not going to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I love my Apple Watch. But learning what people need to be successful is important. Right? Like, it is important. People have when they ask about their whys, like, why do you need 10 million? Well, it's a really cool and sexy number, and I really like the idea of, dude, you don't even know what you're talking about. Do you know how to get to 4 million or to 6 million to 8 million? Well, just work my ass off. And it's not.
It's way more than that.
It's way more than that, dude.
When you start hanging out around rich people and you're like,
shit,
you're all right.
Sorry.
When you start hanging around rich people and then you hear how much they make and you're like, dang, like that guy's so smart. He works so crazy. I had a conversation with someone I'm friends with, and we were talking about money, and he's like, this is how much I make a month. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, to make that a month, I got to do this thing for like 15 years, as long as he's been doing his job, work crazy amount that he's been working for 15 years and be super smart and be super ahead of the game. And I'm like, I'm cool with 100,000.
Well, when people ask me like, why do you love real estate so much? And to be honest with you, the reason why I love the game so much, because we talk about it a lot. Like we talked about it up in San Francisco. Like you can't be in love with doing transactions.
No.
It's really not romantic. It's very stressful, whatever. But what I really, really love, man, no bullshit at all, is that each and every buyer or seller that I deal with has their shit together. They have a good family, maybe not all the time from the outside, you know, but their financial situation, like I could learn from that, right? Like when we're at the home inspection and it's 2 hours, I'm just picking their brain, bro. Like, how did you get here? Like, what did you do to do this? Yeah. And how can I do this?
It's all about asking questions. 100%. And the funny thing, those people want to answer. They love it.
They
love answering. I'm with this guy the other day at the country club, and he's just like, if you saw him on the street, you wouldn't look twice at him. That guy is so rich,
right?
And he's done the floors and countertops for over 600,000 homes in his lifetime. He literally has 29 rentals in Orange Crest, just in Orange Crest.
I love Orange Crest. 29?
29, just in Orange Crest.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do shit for the rest of his life.
And literally, I was like, do you mind me asking you some questions? He's like, no, ask away. And I'm like, how long did it take you to get like financially secure? How did you do this? What was this move? What do you think it's helped you to grow the most? How is this? And like, he's like, I bought my family out on that company on a credit card because the company was upside down.
Damn.
And now look at him. And so that's the thing. It's like, okay, this guy took a risk on a situation that didn't work, and he did this, and that's where he got him there. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, and if you saw him down the street, you wouldn't even think twice about it.
Dude, because there's no plan B, bro.
No.
I talk about it all the time, man.
I don't have one.
I don't want one. I don't even want to talk about one.
I don't even know what else I would do.
I don't either.
Literally, I don't know what else I would do.
And I think about it often. I used to think about it often, like trying to go into some financial building. Like, can I get a meeting with the guy who hires, please? I swear. Like, I swear. You know, it's like, how awful would that be? Mm-hmm. It would be awful.
Well, my biggest thing is like, I like doing whatever I want to do, and that's why I show up every day, because I do it like when agents go, well, how do I prospect? I go, do whatever you think you can do every single day.
Yep.
Not for a month, not for 6 weeks, not for 6 months, not for a year, but try to find something you can do every single day for the rest of your career.
Word.
And if you can't say I can do this every single day, then don't do it, because it's going to take you so much time.
Well, like I said, man, my cousin tricked me into this game. I didn't know it was a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. It's a lifestyle.
Like, I didn't know that, right? And I was very young and naive, and I was very full of dreams, and I lived in Hollywood, and you know, I was in the studios and meeting artists, and it was so romantic to me, right? But then this is what happened, like legit happened, tricked me into it just this way. I'm in Taco Bell, bro, with like a couple bucks to my, like not to my name, but my check is, you know,
in the air.
Yeah, you know, it's floating, right? Yeah. But I'm like looking at my like couple bucks, I'm looking at the menu. And I'm like looking at the dollar menu, can't splurge on the meal because
I get a water cup that I fill up with soda.
Bro, exactly, bro. And it was right around the corner from my house, and I was eating like shit, and I was putting a bunch of garbage into my brain unknowingly, and my cousin sends me a picture. No words, bro. No words, not like, hey, look at this. 3 checks, all over 10 grand each. That's more money than I would have made that entire year. Mm-hmm. And I said, looked at the menu, looked at the phone, looked at the menu. Okay, sign me up, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even care what it takes.
Yeah.
Right? And then I got into the space, and then realizing, like, because he was working me like a dog, bro. I'm brand new. That's what you're supposed to do, right? Brand new. Every day. Double open houses every single weekend, bro. Every single
If your car's not weekend. Full of like listing sheets of all the houses you're showing, you're not showing.
I just cleaned it out yesterday. It was atrocious. But when I got there, I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that I don't get to take any time off? Yeah. And he's like, bro, this is your life now.
It's life.
This is your life. Like, I don't care what.
It never turns off.
It never turns off. And I should, like, and he always told me, just stay the course, man. Just stay the course. Just work for 2 years. I'm like, 2 years? I'm 25.
Yeah.
Like, 2 years ago, I couldn't even drink a beer in a bar.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about, dude? But thank God, you know, through the fear of retribution of whatever it was going to be, a slap on the wrist or a scolding or whatever it was, kept me in line. I script practice every day, memorized all of whatever he told me to memorize, was able to close the deal the first month, second month, third month, and then throughout my career, because it is not rocket science, but it is a lifestyle. You can't turn this thing off.
Can't turn it off.
You can't turn it off, man.
Literally, I laugh when agents are like, oh, I got to get prepared for a listing. I'm like, call me right now. I'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I don't need a script.
Nope.
I can figure that. Like, literally, I could do a listing appointment in the middle of Albertsons.
100%.
And I could close you on the spot.
My favorite thing to do is to do, like when, open houses are back, but when I was doing mad open houses, you know, you connect with somebody, don't connect with the next person, whatever. When family comes in, what's going on, guys? You know, and they're super cool and inviting. And I learned that they're first time buyers or whatever. And I'm like, do you guys have some time? Because there's a kitchen table right here. You know what I mean? I did a full buyer consultations on the spot at the no preparing for anything. We just ask questions, man. We're solving real estate problems. Yep. That's it.
Yeah, and I think too many people are like, "Oh man, I can't take away from everyone else." Like they're too.
All you need is one.
All you need is one.
All you need is one.
It's like listings. All I need is one offer.
All I need is
one.
One.
I don't need anyone else. I need one.
Yes.
It's like when people go like, "Oh my god, how many people watch my video? How many followers do I have? How much?" It's like I just need one.
Yeah.
I need one person every other day to think 100%. About real estate and to DM me.
100%.
I just need one.
And those buyers that I would sit down and do buyer consults with, and literally wave off the rest of it, they loved it.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy's taking his time. Which he could be meeting all the other people,
which are dead leads most of the time.
100%.
Yeah, they're gonna walk in, walk out.
Well, yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. It's like going to the car lot and not wanting to talk to a salesperson because you're not ready to buy a car.
You're not.
How am I supposed to sell a car to someone who doesn't want to sell a car?
I think that's another thing too. I think with agents, it's like figure out really quickly how committed these people are doing it.
Yeah.
Like I'll take listings being like, this listing might go on the market. We might go in escrow, it might fall out, and these people will probably cancel on us.
Right.
They don't really want to do this.
There's not a big enough problem.
Yeah. And that's why people are understanding, why is there a slowdown? What's going on? I'm like, well, now that people can leave their house, they don't care about their 1,200 square feet anymore because their kids back in school, their husband's back at work, and all these things. That problem has disappeared.
So, are you a fan of InfoSparks?
Yeah.
InfoSparks is like, yeah, so that's the way we can crunch massive numbers and MLSs, and they all share with each other, and we can figure out where this market's moving. So last month from May to June was the first month that I've seen leveling out or a decrease in sales price in the summer, and the first time since this whole thing happened, right? And I called a bunch of sellers, and I'm like, look, and I'm actually excited because today's what, August 2nd, so the numbers are out. So now I have 2 months of data. I can't wait to look at it. I'm like a kid in a candy shop now, right? To see if, because I'm starting to hear, right? I'm starting to hear, hey, we're getting a slowdown here. I'm not seeing it in my Upland, Ontario, Rancho market just yet, but I did see a leveling off in price from May to June. I cannot wait to see what happens June, July, because remember, no one's having fun in this market. It is absolutely heartbreaking for damn near everyone. I'm buyer heavy. I'd probably say 50-50, but you spend most of your time with buyers, right? And you're in close contact. They're the most stressed out because they've never bought a house. And I'm very curious. We need interest rates to come up in such a bad way, along with inventory, which feds know. They know that if they shock the market, it'll all collapse.
Yep, just like it happened in 18.
Exactly. So they will gradually, a 1/10 of a point here, a 1/10 of a point here, and all of a sudden you're back up there. We don't have interest rates to stop people from buying houses, dude. I'm so tired of that dead horse. Interest rates are at an all-time low. Yeah, well, comparatively in history, like you can go back up to 4.5 and they're still there.
Yep.
Right? We're in the 2.75s, the 2.6s. Like that is astonishing. Buy a house, thank me later. The best time to buy a house was 5 years ago. Guess what time it was the best time to buy a house 5 years ago? 5 years ago from that. And so on and so forth. Just own your real estate. At some point, like you're going to have to pay where you live. Wherever you sleep at night, you're going to have to pay to do that, right? So might as well pay yourself. Yeah, the prices are high, but do you have a real estate problem, right? Do you have a secure job that you're going to stay for the next 20 years? Then what are you worried about?
Well, I always love when people are like, is this a good investment? I'm like, well, when are you going to sell it? I don't know. Okay, then we'll talk when you go to sell it.
Exactly.
It's like not a good investment until you sell it.
Right.
And it's like, and I have clients that are like, oh, is this a good investment? And I said, listen, you don't care. I say, you don't care. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, if you buy this house right now and then in 8 months the market crashes and you're way upside down in it.
Right.
And you lose your job or you get a job promotion to another place and you have to leave. Are you going to sell this house? Well, yeah, we're going to have to. So exactly. I said, you all think you care. You don't.
You don't.
Stop acting like you do.
Yeah.
Because that's like what you're told. Like, I got to think and I got to be responsible. And listen, no one cares.
It's an emotional game. It's more about lifestyle. That I've noticed recently of the clientele that I have. It's more about lifestyle.
It's all lifestyle.
It is. And just like, this is what I kind of say. You'll spend $5,000 to go to Mexico. Right? You will.
Yeah.
You go to Mexico for 7 days.
But you won't pay $5,000 above appraisal?
Well, you won't pay $5,000 above, but you won't like a lot of people think when they put their down payment on their house, it just disappears. It's like gone. You pay the sellers put it in their pocket and they jet out in the U-Haul. It's like, no, you literally just pay your closing costs and then your money is transferred from this account over to your real estate account. Right? That's really what it is. And you'll pay to have an experience of Mexico for 7 days, but you won't fork up $50,000 to give your family the lifestyle that they want and deserve. And most of my clients are doing that. Like, I'm watching my client move from a beautiful house to an even more beautiful house. Does he have to do that? No. But him and his wife are doing well. His kids are just 3 or 4 years old. Now he's going to go build this picturesque life that he imagined for himself. Yeah. And here I am just quarterbacking the whole thing. This is an amazing job.
Yeah.
Don't you guys want to do this? It's amazing. And to give keys to, I just gave keys to a family. This lady was from Ghana or gosh, I forget. I feel bad if she ever listens to this.
She won't.
Susan, she's right.
Yeah,
she absolutely won't. But she came from another country, man. Yeah. Went to her college system, got a degree, worked her ass off, bro. Had a baby. She's literally got a brand new baby while making this decision. You don't think she was scared?
Yeah.
But in 20 years, when she's going to be able to roll over the equity to the next house, roll over the equity to the next house, and all of a sudden she's got her dream house because she bit the bullet in a high market. Bought the house.
That's everyone who bought an 06 looks like genius now.
Dude, I had a dude buy an 06 condo in
looks like geniuses.
Mission Viejo.
Yeah.
Literally the next week, tanked. He held it.
Held it
and rented it. Cashed out like $500,000 from I think he refied to get out of the adjustable stuff. But was able to buy his dream house, buying at the worst time ever. Worst time ever. Just hang on, bro.
The best advice. Just hang on.
Just hang on.
Every
man.
job, hang on.
For all my crypto guys out there,
just hang
on. It's been a pretty bad couple months.
But here's my thing about crypto. I'm not a crypto guy. I mean, I whatever. But like, if you're buying crypto because you believe in crypto, then you believe that in the long haul it's gonna win.
Yeah.
If you bought crypto because it was making huge gains and now you've lost it,
right.
You bought crypto for the wrong reason.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, if you believe in crypto and you believe, then just hang on to it.
That's
like the people 100%. Who bought it, like last time it crashed at like $17,000 and then dropped down to $9,000 or whatever.
Right.
If you would have bought at 17 and waited through the crash,
dude, that's the best scenario. Like,
you'd
be
at 65. Yeah. You could have sold at 65, and even after this tank, you're still $15,000 higher. It's what, $30,000 right now or whatever?
No, it's at like 41.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
so you're still up.
Yeah.
So if you would have bought the last high. Yeah. And held it.
Well, I'm just trying to accumulate as much as I can. Like, I was just telling Brian outside, like, it's about manipulation of your money. And that financial literacy is very, very difficult to understand unless you are able and ready to make mistakes. Like, in life, right? Like, no one taught me the stock market. No one. And I sat around, I'm watching the tickers every single day on TV, and I'm like, dude, no one's gonna teach me this. I'm gonna go in with $20.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with $20, and I'm gonna buy this little stock, but I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna see how it moves. Now all of a sudden, I'm like, I got like crazy stuff in there, and I'm really happy about it. But if it crashes tomorrow, great. I don't need it. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to accumulate as many assets as I can as a youngster so that, and when I'm 45, I can look back and say, maybe I don't want to work anymore.
Yeah. I think people make the mistake like, oh, if I only make more money. Like I always hear that one. Oh, if I could do like 2 more deals, if I can make like 50 grand more, and I always tell them, it doesn't matter, you'll spend it.
Yeah.
You're going to put it in an investment account. You're going to buy toys. You're going to go on trips. You're going to spend this money. Like, you're just going to. We don't have the willpower.
Eric Thomas says it beautifully. He says, you know why you're not being blessed, bro, with your extra money that you said you're going to be? Because you're just going to spend it on you, right? You're not being a blessing to anyone else. You don't care about anyone else. Therefore, no blessings for you.
Yeah, I love E.T.
He's the best.
E.T., honestly, E.T., if people don't know, Eric Thomas is a great motivational speaker or whatever, but E.T. only blew up because someone secretly videotaped him talking at a high school.
Yeah.
And it went viral.
Yes.
And he became E.T.
Yeah. And now he's like a multi-millionaire doing
wrote multiple books.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The guy's a savage. I love his content.
He just yells on Instagram now.
Yeah, he literally just does. And for me, I grew up playing football my whole life, so like that angry coach mentality, like I almost need it. Cause like if you don't fire me up, bro, like I can't get going. You know what I mean? And now I have to be that for my office. So how do I do that? I get ET in my ear every morning, or ET when I'm in the gym, or ET somewhere. I'm like ET, Tony Robbins. I don't know why I just volunteered to explain or to name drop, but those dudes, man, like you can learn something. And people, I'm like, what do you do when you get in the car? Like, I listen to the radio. Like I listen to my favorite jams. I'm like, bro, that's your time to like put good shit into your brain. Your diet is not only what you put in your mouth. Your diet is what you put into your brain.
For sure. That's why I'm like when I first got started, like I would just like pump like Gary Vee like every day, and like Grant Cardone and E.T. and all these guys, and then I fall off, and then like when I need like a little booster, like I just put those people back in my head,
dude,
and then I listen to them, and and then I go off, and then I go back, and then I go off.
Well, you might be one of these people. You might just be the next.
Well, that's the thing, like with E.T., right? Like, so I always tell people, I'm like, well, they're like, why do you do it? I'm like, I'm one video away. I'm literally one video away to blow up. Yeah. Like literally, like I don't think people get that. You're one video away to blow up, and if you have the game to maintain it, you will. The reason why people have 15 minutes of fame is because they blew up on one song and that's all they were good for. Right. Yeah, and I agree with that. People won't even get into the studio to make a song though, because it's got to be perfect. Yeah. I make so many non-perfect videos. That's the best. They're the best. It's the best. And I don't care. Yeah. But I'm one video away from blowing up, and I'm one meme or one something where all of a sudden, like if the right person sees it, and all of a sudden that person sees it, and now all of a sudden I'm getting a call and being like, yo, we want you to come and speak here. Cool. And then it's that and that and that and that. Dude, you've been doing this for like the whole video, I've been doing like 3 years. Media. But like 2 years like hard, but 3 years of like posting. Like everyone goes, oh, how do you do it? And I'm like, bro, I've been doing it every day for 6 years. Right. I said I was doing it with iPhone 4s when like the audio and everything sucked. Yeah. I mean, how many vlogs do you have out? You have like, I have 89 right now. I was about to say nearing 100. Under 100. You know what I mean? I have like literally probably over 200 videos on Instagram, or on 200 videos on YouTube. I have 2,700 posts on Instagram. Right. Not counting LinkedIn, Facebook, all that stuff. I get seen 100,000 times a month online. People just do. This is like a new thing I've been telling people. Like, bro, your plan doesn't have to be perfect. No, it doesn't. But what you do is you have to commit to some type of like end result, and you may get there, you may not, bro. I went to Hollywood and ended up in real estate. I went to be a professional umpire, and I am now a real estate agent. Right. You know what I mean? You went totally different fields. But you, no pun, right? No pun. But like, you went for something. Went all in. Professionally. Didn't work out. Didn't work. Then I went all in on this. Right. And if this doesn't work out one day, when that day comes, then I'll go all in on something else. Bro, I've spent thousands of hours in the studio. I have 1,900 original records, right? 18 or 1,900. There's only 365 days in a year. Like, imagine how many times I sat down by myself, didn't go out, when I went to Hollywood, bro, they're like, let's go to the bar. Nope. Let's go smoke some weed. Nope. Let's go hang out in this. Nope.
I'm like, dude, I came here for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? Little did I know the reason was to get into real estate, create a company, and blow the shit out of the water. Like, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Didn't know that was the plan.
But I believed in myself. I bet on myself. There was no plan B ever. And beautiful things can happen from that.
I agree.
Like, legit.
I agree. Well, that's a great way to end it, man.
That's a great way to end it.
Thank you so much for your time, dude.
Absolutely, man.
Man, I can't wait
fun.
to do this again.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Peace.